And they're off, and the fall gardening has begun. Hey folks, welcome back to the Rock and Sea Homestead. My name is Lance. I want to welcome you to our channel. Today we're going to do a little fall, early September garden tour. And of course that garden tour starts right here in the house, right by our seedlings. If you guys haven't caught that video of where we planted these and did our fall garden planting, we'll leave a link up above. But the Grand Rapids lettuce is starting to come in really well. I think we only had 3 of them that didn't germinate. Almost all of the spinach is germinating, maybe other than 1. And the same thing goes for the Paris Island lettuce. I think we've had germination other than maybe 1 or 2 of them. So we are looking forward to having lettuce planted here in the next couple weeks and getting some lettuce back in our food rotation. So yay. Then our next stop is going to be at our mom's area. So this is on our front porch. They are looking really good. They're all filling out and getting some new blooms on it. So we're super happy these are up here giving us a little bit of color on our porch. And especially as we look over the garden, certain things look like they're dying out partially, and some things look like they're having a revitalization. And if you can see the tomato blooms from here, those tomatoes just have yellow blooms everywhere on top of that thing. It is pretty amazing to see that those tomato plants are still producing that much even this late in the year. So excited. Let's go down and take a look at it. So just a few things we planted out here in the front. We planted some peas. Not for sure if they're snap peas or snow peas, but there's some peas in here. They haven't came out yet, but we keep watering them. And our, I think this is onion chives. It's starting to seed. We're needing to cut this thing back. Plus all the other stuff, the lavender, the garlic chives, and the curry plant, all looking really good. This sage plant is the sage plant that just won't die. It has came back, and we've cut it, came back, so we're gonna have to do some more cutting on that. And this is thyme. Yeah, the thyme is doing really good. Where we cut it back earlier is coming through. Our basil's looking good. Our spearmint and our chocolate mint's looking really good. And our stevia is just about to bolt on us, so we're gonna have to start cutting that back as well. It's that time of year. Some of these things are gonna go away here in the next month and finish up all the drying and preserving as we can. And in this little bed here is where we put the like the bush beans or whatever they were, some sort of beans we put in here. And I don't think any of them have started to come up yet. Oh, maybe one. Or that could just be a weed. It's hard to tell. So we'll see how this thing's come up. It looks like there may be something happening in a couple spots. So we'll wait and see. We keep watering it and hoping for the best on those. Now, if we come over here on our hanging pots, these things are still going crazy. Our lemon balm, we cut this back pretty good recently. Same thing with the oregano. We cut back as much as we could. And then our rosemary there is still going good. Some of these still need to be harvested out. And is there a little froggy in there? Excuse the cough. So we have a little gang of frogs that live in these little containers that we spook out every night when we water. If you guys seen our Facebook post recently and on our Instagram, you know that we have little itty bitty frogs, and this is one of them. So if you haven't checked those out, there'll be a link down below in our description. You can go over and check them out. We kind of throw those up there every now and then. So as you can see, our tomato plants are live and well. And actually, I need to pick some more tomatoes. Like here's one that's right here. But as you can see through, and hopefully you saw that on our earlier photos, there are blooms all throughout all of these bushes that are just starting to come on. I need to go through and clip off some of the old dead stuff that's kind of creeped in, but there's so much alive. I don't want to cut it too much, but I'm just amazed by how these things keep on growing. We did put some carrots right down the middle of this row. I don't know if it's actually if they get enough sun with the tomatoes like they are. So we're going to kind of see how that goes. We may put a little bit of carrots. I was thinking about this today. Put some carrots there in the bean area because we have a little area that doesn't have anything in it. Maybe carrots would be really good there, give them full sun. So we'll see what happens with that. So this used to be our old broccoli bed, and once we got all that cleared out, we had one cantaloupe plant that didn't make it. But other than that, since the fall, we planted some radishes right in here, and they're coming in really, really good. Those things popped up really quick. We're about needing to probably thin them out here in the next week. And over on this side, we put some more of those peas, whatever kind of peas they are. And we're hoping they'll come up and over the trellis and mingle with our tomatoes up there and call them buddies. And the one tomato plant that we planted late in the year, I guess early fall, whatever you want to call it, it's a beefsteak tomato, and it's grown pretty good here. It's about 3 feet tall, and there's blooms all over it. So we're hoping to get some bigger tomatoes, and maybe we'll do some more canning and preserving of those come, late September, October time frame. We're hopeful. So this is one of our banana pepper plants that lasted through having all the squash all over it. So this used to be our squash and zucchini bed. This was planted here at the same time, and it survived, and it finally started to grow. And this thing was one of the ones we got all those banana peppers from our last video, plus some other ones over there. But in this bed, that's all that's in there for right now. Once those seedlings get a little bit bigger, this is where we're going to put the lettuce. And I'm going to we're going to take this cattle panel off and move it in a certain direction. And I think we're going to do some sort of a low tunnel kind of hybrid kind of deal that fits over this top of this, and hopefully we can get some green lettuce later in the year, maybe throughout the winter. So we'll see. We don't get too cold here in Oklahoma. Hopefully we can make it. So in this bed, we pulled out all of the cantaloupe other than this one. We had one remaining fruit in here that was good. The rest of them, either we harvested or they actually split due to all the weather. But one of the things that's in here is, of course, the okra, and as you can tell, we're not very good at picking that on time. So these pods are just getting huge. So at this point, I'm just trying to get for the tallest plant in the largest pod so I can win the Samson Farm Challenge there for the okra. But one of the things we were concerned with, it was once the okra got tall enough to go through the trellis, if we'd have to do something with it, and we didn't have to do anything. It's found its own way through the trellis, and it's working its way up. I mean, this one's already about 2.5 feet out of the trellis, and the rest of them are just now getting to the point where they're up and over the trellis. So we didn't have to worry about it. And in this bed, we have put some beets in here in the empty spot, so we know that that's something that we wanted to kind of try. We're not huge beets fans, and so we may actually have some coming up there, Mars. Just saw those for the first time today. So hopefully we will enjoy the beets. Some in the middle too. Awesome. We have we got a couple recipes from you guys out there in YouTube land, so we are looking forward to trying some of those and seeing how these beets are going to work. So over here on this this side of our garden, we have some pepper plants. Again, they are doing really, really well, as you can tell. We about need to harvest some more peppers. The banana peppers and the shishito peppers have been really good. Those have been super tasty. To be honest, we haven't really ate many of the hot banana peppers because we're just not very spicy hot people. But let me kind of get through this jungle here, this tomato plant. I just can't keep up with it falling over, and so this thing is probably 10, 11 feet tall, but it just keeps falling over, and the higher I go, the more it wants to tip over. So it's going to work like that or it's not. So that's about where we're at with that, but it's still producing a lot of tomatoes. Same thing for this one over here. There was a picture that I posted on Facebook and Instagram last week showing just this thing was just loaded with tomatoes, and this thing has really been a trooper, other than it's kind of looking a little bit dead in certain spots. But I think this self-watering tub has really hit the mark. Well, I can't remember what the name of these plants are. Oh, the marigolds really have stayed pretty well and stayed very healthy. Other than this one, looks like it's kind of flopping over, it's getting so tall. But other than that, those things are looking really good, and we think that the tub, the self-watering aspect of it, has helped in some of the hot times of the year, and it's always just kind of provided it good, steady water flow. We did pull off some of these bell peppers earlier this week, and we made a recipe, and we're just going to make a video on it in the next couple weeks. And it's one of those recipes where we think we can almost make it, other than maybe one or two little ingredients, completely from our homestead. So we're going to make some bone broth. We can use our tomatoes, our diced tomatoes, our tomato sauce, our peppers, and even venison from where I harvested one from my parents' house. So almost, other than maybe the rice that goes in it and some paprika, it's going to be a full-on homestead meal. Now the other day we had a little bit of wind and it blew this thing over, and I've been trying to stake it up, but it keeps breaking on me. So this one may be a loss at some point. And right here is our in-ground garden. Only thing is left in here is the okra and whatever's left of our cucumbers. You know, I've thought about pulling all this off, but we are starting to get some new growth. We do have some cucumbers growing, so I hate to pull them off when we maybe get another harvest or two out of those. We'll just have to see how these things actually work out. But we're not going to plant anything else in here. We're going to let this stuff die out, and then we're going to pull it up. We have some other plans for this area, so more to come on that. But so far, this is our garden at this point. And we have, so far since March, when we started this exercise, been really excited about gardening. Really have unexpectedly enjoyed it a lot more than we actually thought we would. And at times it's a little overwhelming with all the harvesting that you have to do, and then preserving it and all those things, and just the time of day that we have. But overall, it's been a great experience. And Marcy loves canning. She wants to can and can and can, and maybe can a little bit more. Not really. She's not a big fan of all the processing and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, so here's our fall garden, guys. Thanks for coming along on this video. We really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, those links will be right over here. Just click that and ring that bell so you get notified every time we put out a video. And from our homestead to yours, have a blessed day, and we'll catch you on the next video. Bye.